And now, live from Level 5 Productions on the island of Milleronia, it's The Larry Miller Show. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and everyone who's always wanted to be a Marine newly promoted. Hi, folks, and welcome back to The Larry Miller Show. I'm Larry Miller, but in a way, aren't we all? And boy, is it beautiful today here on Milleronia. I know. I make the weather. I'm responsible for the weather, and I make it any way I want. But still, it's gorgeous here. The temperature is beautiful. The sky is, well, magnificent. And everything we grow here, never mind what that is, everything we grow here is perfect. Boy, oh boy, I love this place, and so does the Colonel. And I'll be honest, that I'm considering cutting his helicopter rides down to 2 helicopters rather than the 3 he must take now to get here to Milleronia. Considering it, though. That's how highly I think of Colonel Jeff, and how highly you think of him, too, I'll bet. And you know what, though? Boy, he does a great job. Is this the weather that makes me feel so good? Is it the music that makes me feel so good? Yes, it's both. Oh, boy, oh, boy. And, of course, that's the P.J. Griffin Orchestra and the Claudia Hahn Dancers, featuring girl tenorina Tabby Stone asking the musical question, is the official song of Milleronia, wouldn't it be Lava Lee? Boy, that's a good question. Good for you, Tabby. And I just want to point out to everyone, we found out some time ago that there is no girl tenor. We always say boy tenor, but a girl tenor is called a tenorina. I don't know how, but someone let us know that, and thank you for letting us know. So that's what Tabby is. She's our girl tenorina. But a heck of a question. What a good question. Is the official song of Milleronia, wouldn't it be Lava Lee? No, Tabby. That's our national anthem. Also, by the way, we use it more than once. Also, if you've been sentenced to one of our volcanoes, one of my volcanoes, it's what the guards sing on your way up. That might not sound so appealing to you, but remember, you're about to be heaved into a working volcano, so take what you can get. Am I right? I think I'm right on that, and I think you would agree. If you're about to be heaved in there by Ollie Dungmeister Jr., and that's right, Ollie's son, Ollie Dungmeister, was the master and big head heaver of our volcanoes for many, many years, and he retired about 8 months ago. But he's very pleased now because his son, Ollie Dungmeister Jr., is now taking over, and he's learning the ropes, so to speak. And, no, it's true, by the way. People, he has a bad reputation so far. That he's thought to be a little mean-spirited. He's not that kind to the people, and he makes sure they get there in quick step. And his reasons have been, he's said, hey, I just want everyone to know here, everyone should know, I'm not kidding around, and I'm taking this job seriously, and I'm going to get those people up and in and gone. And, I understand that. I'm not dismissing it, by the way. He doesn't watch it. Well, there's going to be another Dungmeister doing the heaving, and it might be him. In any case, though, wow, good question, Tabby, and thank you very much. And by Amazon and PayPal. That's right, it's a great pleasure to talk about them as our sponsors again. Well, we love Blue Apron, and we love everything in the Larry Miller Store, but you know what? Amazon and PayPal are just so good. You know what? If you go to Amazon.com, you can get anything you want there, except, of course, in actual Amazon, which would be well, that really something. We'd like to hear about that. We'd really like to hear about that. If you're, if you're going to shop at Amazon and you bring them up on your big phone or on your big laptop computer, that's as technical as I can get. And you get a knock at the door and it's Julie Newmar or someone else Colonel Jeff and I both absolutely adore. And that starts, by the way, it starts and ends with Julie Newmar. God bless her. If there's anyone been, taller and tougher and more beautiful than Julie Newmar, in fact, she would have made a great Amazon. In fact, who knows? Maybe that's what she is. In any case, though, folks, you know what? Amazon and PayPal do a great job. And don't go there on your own computer, on your own laptop, on your own iPhone. Don't do anything like that. See, that sounded better. It sounded like I know what I'm talking about. But what you do is you come to us. Go to our website, LarryMillerPodcast.com. Who's on the Mountain? Tom Mix. Boy, that sounds like that tiny trumpet player at the end there just stuck his head in there and just kind of and then into the bandstand, and then just when he got a little, hey, there's that guy, hey, you, why I oughta, when you get a lot of that, and he just darted away, and he's gone. But Amazon is terrific. You know what? We'll get you there. We have a banner that says Amazon. And you push our banner, you click on our banner, and they still do 3 things no one else does. 1, order whatever you want. They have it. And 2, they have it. They already have it. They don't have to order it. They don't have to make it. They don't have to borrow it. They have a giant warehouse, a mile long and a mile wide and a mile high and a mile low. And they have everything you want already. And 3, they send us a percentage of whatever it is you order. That's right. They send here to the show, to the Larry Miller Show, and do we like that? They send us a percent of whatever you order. And we take that money, of course, and we put it right into our big steel treasure box, and we save it for our next big fancy fried chicken dinner and 2 drinks beforehand in a different place. Boy, oh boy. And that's a good meal, and that's the money we use to buy it. So, you know what? Go to our website, LarryMillerPodcast.com. Who's on the Mountain? Tom Mix. Oh, boy, I'm so sorry. That fellow shouldn't have had the fish. Or he should have had the fish. Oh, boy. We'll take you there, though. And by PayPal. We like them so much, too. If you enjoy my show here, and why wouldn't you, and you'd like to send us a few bucks to help out, and why wouldn't you? You can do it through PayPal, and we love the way they do it. They make you feel like you're saving the world, actually, and that's a pretty good feeling. And I don't like the words like donate this, or pay what you like, or join the Platinum Club. I've never been fond of those. I always say buy us some drinks, because there are different levels 1 through 5, all the way up to... We're driving to Florida! Boy, oh boy. And we're very grateful for it. Look for the PayPal banner on our website, too. And every little bit helps us keep the old leg lamp lit. And thank you to everyone who's already done that. And thanks to every one of you who's contributed already and is thinking of doing it right now. And if you send something nice, and believe me, Colonel Jeff and I will both be saying, well, wouldn't it be lovely? So in any case, thank you, folks. It means a lot to us. And now that brings me to my favorite part of the show, the joke of the week. I love this joke of the week. I love the whole concept of it, and I've always thought about doing that. Joke of the week, wow. And if it's a good one, if you like it, Colonel Jeff and I both like this one very much. And if you like it, pass it on to your family and loved ones and friends, and And here it is. We thought this was a pretty good one. Guy walks into a bar, and he walks up to the right up to the bar there, and to the bartender, and he says, "Hey, give me a cold beer. Draw a beer for me, a nice big mug of beer, before the problems start." And the bartender says, "Oh, all right." He thinks to himself, "Well, this guy's, a little messed up. He's gonna have some problems here." And he pours him a beer, draws a beer, sets it down there, and this guy goes through that beer like nobody's business. It's 1, 2, 3 sips, and he puts it down again, and he says, "Buddy, do me a favor. Give me another one fast before the problems start." And the bartender says, "Oh, all right, I guess this guy has a tough life. I'll do that." He gives him a second one. Well, folks, this goes on and on. And this guy orders his 5th beer now. As he's in the same thing he said before the problems start. And the bartender does that. He draws him a 5th beer, lays it down there. And now the bartender says to the guy, "Hey, Mac, hope you don't mind my asking, but so far you haven't paid for any of these." And the guy says, "Now the problems start." That's a pretty good one, isn't it? I got a big kick out of that, and so did Colonel Jeff. In fact, I told him I saw that one coming. It doesn't make me brilliant, but I mean, I thought for a second, is that what's going to happen? But it didn't change anything. I laughed anyway. I thought, wow, that's a pretty good joke. So, yeah, now the problems start. This guy, well, is all messed up, but at least he's figured that problem out. He can get to 5 beers before the bartender finally says, "Hey, why don't you put some money up so I know I can trust you." Now the problems start. So I hope you like that one and pass it along. And that brings me to my second favorite part of the show, the Poetry Corner. I love our string quartet, and they play beautiful classical instruments, and that's the way we teach it here on Milleronia, by the way. And they do it the way, well, they do it the way that keeps them out of the volcanoes. That's the way we like to put it. And this one is a sonnet by James Russell Lowell. And that's what it says. It's called. This is a sonnet. So I don't know if he never got to the title of it, or if they never got to the title of it. But you know what, folks? We get to the title of it, and for us today, it's called A Sonnet by James Russell Lowell. The maple puts her corals on in May, while loitering frosts about the lowlands cling, to be in tune with what the robins sing, plastering new log huts mid her branches gray. But when the autumn southward turns away, then in her veins burns most the blood of spring, and every leaf intensely blossoming makes the year's sunset pale the set of day. O youth unprescient, were it only so, with trees you plant and in whose shade reclined, thinking their drifting blooms fate's coldest snow, you carve dear names upon the faithful rind, nor in that vernal stem the cross foreknow, that age may bear silent, yet unresigned. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice, folks? And Colonel Jeff and I like that one a lot. And to be honest, and by the way, James Russell Lowell was very well known. He lived from 1819. He was American, lived from 1819 to 1891, and he was one of the main poets in what was called the Fireside Group. This was a group of poets who were dedicated to traditional styles, and that could be read to the family, to children, and to your wife, and to in front of the fireside, where you might read them a poem after dinner or before dinner. I guess that's another tradition we don't do anymore. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it? That Dad would say, "Okay, let's time to read. We'll read something from the Bible as the opener, and then we'll read something from the Fireside Group, and we'll read it all by the fireside." So thank you, folks. I thought you liked that one. And by the way, for whatever it's worth, it took me 7 or 8 tries to get through most of it, because he's a very interesting, complicated writer who uses words beautifully. But they're not so easy to say. Not here on Milleronia. In any case, I think that's a good one. I hope you like it too. And that brings me to my third favorite part of the show. MMM, Triple M, the magic movie moment. This is a terrific movie, folks, and I hope you know that already. It's written and directed by the great Preston Sturges in 1941. I hope you know his work. Good Lord, Christmas in July and Sullivan's Travels and so many more. A great writer and director. And this movie is called The Lady Eve, starring Henry Fonda, Barbara Stanwyck, Charles Coburn, Eugene Pallette, and William Demarest. And what a great cast. And these were names I wanted to mention to you. And Eric Blore. Oh, they're all wonderful. And this movie is great. In case you've said to yourself before, yeah, I've never seen a funny Henry Fonda. I've never seen him be funny. You will in this movie. You'll see him be sweet and lovable and loving and very funny. It's a terrific movie. And there's many scenes that could be magic movie moments, but I love it. Everything they go through in their love, Henry Fonda and Barbara Stanwyck, finally ends up back on the ocean liner. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's right near the end of the movie. And he's such a sweet character, and so he'd never lie to her. And she meets him again on the ocean liner, and he's thrilled to see her. And he says, what so much has happened already, and she leads him in such a loving way. She's a powerful, smart, tough cookie, and she should be. She's so lovable that way. And as Barbara Stanwyck leads him into his cabin, that because we know they're married, but they each don't know that. But she knows everything. And Henry Fonda, as she's leading him into the cabin, Henry Fonda says to her, "Well, I have to tell you this, though. I really do." He said, I'm already married. I'm married now." And she said to him, in such a sweet, controlling way, though, she says, as she leads him in, "Well, so am I, darling. So am I." And it's such a beautiful moment, and he doesn't know, but they're about to go into his cabin, for their honeymoon night, and we know that. It doesn't have to be said. And the great William Demarest, who's playing a character named Muggsy in this, and he's been hired by, Henry Fonda's wealthy family and wealthy father to keep an eye on Fonda there. And once he sees them come in, we don't see this. We're in the hallway with the camera. And as Barbara Stanwyck closes the door, it opens again, and out sneaks, he slides by the door, William Demarest, closes the door softly and stops and turns, and the camera's right there, and he just shakes his head and says, "Positively the same dame." And it's a great moment, folks. I can't tell you enough how the Lady Eve is something to get fast and check out. If you haven't seen it, oh, see it. And if you haven't seen it and you don't know anything about Preston Sturges, see it. It's beautiful. It's a great love story, and it's very funny, and it's very sweet. And what a great cast. Henry Fonda, Barbara Stanwyck, Charles Coburn, Eugene Pallette, and Eric Bloor, and the great William Demarest saying, "Positively the same dame." Boy, a great movie. And I mentioned how much we would all want to be a Marine who gets promoted. And that's because, well, my older boy, who's a Marine, just got promoted a couple of days ago. And he was very happy. He's a corporal now, a full corporal from Lance Corporal. And we were very happy for him. We all had a video phone call. And, boy, I say that like it's a spaceship. But it may not sound so great to you, but, boy, it was sure great to us and sure great to him. And he's being transferred. He just found out the same day. And, by the way, that was the ceremony for his promotion was just like a movie. I mean, the whole squad and company were there, 400 Marines, and in a place they're all seated, and there's a stage there, and the colonel, the commander of the base, gave him the promotion and pinned it onto his uniform that he was wearing, and he shook hands and saluted, and well, that's just great, folks. I really like that. And then he found out his sergeant. Boy, it sounds like I don't even know what I'm talking about with the names. The word sergeant, like it's from a different planet. But his sergeant, and these are all, they're all Marines, and they've all served in the places they need to be, and the places we need them. And they're not kidding around, and they're tough guys, and they're tough enough to do this job. But so the sergeant said to him, he sent word that tell Miller to come in here, and so the new Corporal Miller came in, and the sergeant said to him just right off the bat, "So, you ready to go to," he mentioned this place, this country, and I can't tell you, it's the same sort of thing as last time, it's when he went to the Middle East, and I couldn't tell you that either. I was asked not to tell, and so it's not the Middle East this time, and it's a place where the food is good, the women are not shy, with muscular Americans in uniform, and my wife and I are not horrified about him stepping off base and going into town for a nice meal. And, it makes a difference to us folks. And so I can't tell you where it is, but I can say that this is a place where people go voluntarily, not because they were kidnapped. Isn't that a crazy thing to have to say in the world the way it is? And it's a place where you might even take your kids. I know that again sounds crazy. What? And in fact, my wife already said, you know what? That's where we'll all go for Christmas. We'll go visit them and walk around the place. And it means a lot. It's funny sometimes, and I've said this before, and I've told stories about this before, but so often in our lives, it's the little things that mean a lot. And big things can mean a lot too, but the little things really mean the most. I was watching the Three Stooges again on their website last night. And website probably isn't the right word, but gee, it's terrific with bright colors. And you know what? I was loving it. Everything they have for sale there. And I know I've said these things before, but it's worth saying to you again about the Stooges. First of all, God, they were funny. So funny. Short, but funny. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you realize again, boy, as a kid and an adult, when you see pictures of them, and it's on this website, the threestooges.com, and or threestooges.com. But you see them with some of the beautiful Hollywood starlets who were there with them in there. And there's one and you should go see her on this outlet, Christine McIntyre. And she was in many, 35 or 40 of their great Three Stooges shorts. And she was perfect. She was, so bright and smart, highly trained, by the way, in Chicago for a voice that she was an opera singer, and just beautiful, blonde and gorgeous. And there's a shot of, several shots of the Stooges with her, and they're all just looking up at her, smiling. And that's the key, because they're looking up. It dawns on you again that, well, wait a minute, she wasn't a basketball player. Christine was, a young Hollywood actress, and she's got them by about 5 inches. And I'm just saying, it makes you think. In all the episodes, in all the movies of theirs that sometimes, a couple of times they get where it's the three of them, and then they meet. The farmer has 3 daughters, and they're going to get married to the farmer's daughters. And the farmer's daughters are very, very pretty too, and also their farm type dresses, whatever that means, but they really look great. And they got 5 inches on the Stooges also. And again, these are not tall women. These are women who were just about the size they should be, regular actress height, which is, I guess, about in the 5'3" area there. So with heels on, 5'5", but without the heels, 5'2", 5'3", and they've got, and well, they would win the start of a basketball game against the Stooges. But golly, they were funny, so good. The Stooges, I love them so much, and they make me, laugh. That holy mackerel! How did they come up with that stuff? I don't even know. And the Colonel and I were both saying that. How do you figure out that, they have those shots of the Stooges where Curly's arms have been put through a laundry press where they have the 2 rollers on them. Normally the clothes go through there. But they put Moe and Larry put his hands and arms through there, and they're winding those through. And they have, by the way, ridges on the rollers there. This is not something that you'd like. And Curly, of course, is doing just a visual shot of him, the visual of that. And Moe and Larry is rolling him through. He's got his hand on the roller. And Moe is also looking at Curly. And they have those great, fabulous, angry looks. Because, of course, they were very angry with Curly, who was the youngest of the Howard brothers. And his real name was Jerome Lester Howard, and or Horwitz. And then they changed their name. They got into, when they got in show business, to Howard. But boy, folks, they come up with things. Harry Cohn at the time, the head of Columbia Studios here in, back on the mainland in Hollywood, loved the Stooges. He loved them. And he was known as, he was not a sweet guy to get along with. He could be as tough as any of them. And he loved the Stooges. He howled at, putting the arms through the laundry wringer. No doubt you began to use that trick on every agent and actor who came into his office. But, folks, how do they come up with this stuff? I'm glad they did. It is worth saying to me, God bless Moe, God bless Larry, and yes, forever, God bless Shemp, and God bless all of them. But folks, still the number one for me of just, God bless Curly. God bless Jerome Lester. And it was written in his biography that when he first came to try and get into the vaudeville act, because his brother Moe said, hey, my brother Jerome is pretty good. He's in vaudeville too. And when he came for the big meeting with Ted Healy, he had long, dark brown hair and a big mustache. And the first thing Healy said was, "Okay, let's lose the hair and the mustache, all right?" And he did. He was happy to do it. He cut it all off. But see, Curly, you may not know, was a ladies' man. And that he loved women. Who doesn't? But, I mean, that was a big thing for him. And he knew a lot of women. And he was happy about it. And they knew him, and they were happy about that. But once he shaved all the hair off, he noticed that, that was falling off a bit. There weren't a lot of women who were attracted to that. But he was Curly, and there were plenty of women still. And he died young, but they're all gone now. But holy mackerel, they were all so funny. God bless them all. I know that. And you and I know the same things. Homer is Homer, and Pluto is a planet. So remember, folks, as always, if you walked out of bed today and had a job to go to and a home to come back to and someone there who cares about you, folks, the game's over and you've won. And that's still the truest thing I know. Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. Whew, I love them. Be well, folks. We'll see you next time.